Chris here. First thing I want to say, to somebody out there that I watch on YouTube, named Zach. His last couple of videos have been very, very good. Very good messages, especially the one where he's sitting there kicking that dummy's ass. I tell you what, over the years, I wish I had a punching bag or a karate doll to mess with, because I had broken my hand, fingers, punching brick walls. I picked up a 200-pound rock. Now, trust me, I'm not the strongest guy in the world. Now, this is when I was younger. And really, 200 pounds is not, no joke. And really, I was, at that point in my life, I might have been able to bench press probably about 200 pounds. So, this big old boulder is just sitting out, in the neighbor's yard. So, maybe they were going to use it for decoration. I don't know. You know how people have rocks for decoration in their yard. But anyway, this is when I was younger. I picked up the 200-pound rock. I was so mad, so angry, and so pissed off. I just went outside. I just jerked it up, and I actually was able to throw it a little bit. Not very far, but I just threw it, a couple of feet. And boy, I ripped my lower back to shreds. And at the time, I was just so angry. My adrenaline was pumping. I didn't know. When I calmed down, and then I sat down and I had trouble getting up and there was a sharp pain, that's when I knew something was serious. So in my time, it would have been nice to have a punching bag or a punching dummy instead of a brick wall or a big old rock to pick up. These days though, I'm not. I get mad, but nothing like that. Basically, I'm a sad, angry guy these days. Basically, if I get really angry about something, it just quickly turns to sadness. There's no violence involved. And when I was young, oh God, trust me, anger was one of my issues. It didn't take much for me to snap. Just the littlest thing would set me off. And, like I said, I have scars on my knuckles and hands to prove it. I've got a scar on my lower back to prove it. And yeah. But anyways, his videos are great. I wish I had it in me, because he's going through a lot of crap, and he's trying to find direction, just like all of us who are suffering from this condition are. The thing with him is he's much younger than I am. He has a much, much better chance at succeeding, and I really do think he will, because he's very, very good at putting the message out there. He's very good at getting the point across, much, much better than I am. Me, I tend to focus on my negatives and talking about those just because I need somebody to vent to. So for my videos, I'd like younger people to watch them, basically so they don't end up like me. And I've described that before. No one wants to end up a loser with no friends, that has no social life, that doesn't even exist basically, other than the fact he takes breaths every second or whatever. I'm really nobody knows me other than the few people who watch my videos, the few people I chat with on Facebook, my grandmother, and the nurses and the counselor and my therapist at the clinic. That's it. Other than that, I am not known, and I haven't left any kind of imprint on the world. It's like I don't exist. It's just like, what's the point, and I tell myself that all the time. It was like, Chris, you're getting older, and the older you get, the less likely you're going to succeed, and that's the truth of the matter. Father Time catches up to everyone, and Father Time has been catching up to me. I may only be 32 years old, well, I'll be 32 in June, but the sedative lifestyle, the mental abuse, just the anxiety, the depression, the drug use mainly, and let me make it clear, and people have asked me this before, I would have never started using drugs. And I know it's an excuse, and people that have our disease make excuses, and I'm not going to bullshit. It is an excuse. But it's a damn good excuse, because there's a difference between making an excuse just, because you're lazy about something or something minor happened. But if it's major and there's a true good excuse, then that counts. And so there's a difference between levels of excuses. And my excuse is very legitimate. I was very weak-minded. I admit that. I did not have the strength. I did not have anyone to fall to. Had I had a support system, things would have been different for me. And I'm not the only one in the world. And a lot of people have been worse off than me somehow dug down deep and fought out of it. Me, I chose the wrong path, and I stayed on it too long. Nothing came across. Most of those people that dug down deep had an event that turned them around. And for me, that event has not happened yet. And the older I get, it's like I'm waiting. I'm playing a waiting game here. I have all these aspirations and things that I want to do. But at the same time, I know because of my experiences that there's no way in hell I'm going to do this shit alone. I need that real life support. That is the one thing. If you go across my years of, torture, mental torture, anguish, pain, all the stuff that I've been through and seen, all the shit that people have put me through, I come across to one point. I didn't have anyone to fall to. And if I had someone to fall to, this would have never gotten this bad. Because I'm going to admit, I am not a very strong-minded person at all. And I know that's very obvious to all of you. And I'm the first to admit that. And I know that I'm not going to be able to do this alone. There is no way in hell. I can't. I've tried to dig down deep. And I've dug down deep. But I was shot right back down. See, it takes me a while to build up courage and to try to do better. And I've done that. And every time, boom, something comes along and just, boom, stabs me in the fucking heart. And just throws that down. And because of my past experiences, I don't know how to pick myself off and dust myself off. So many out there. I envy you because you're able to just brush things off. And like I say, or I haven't said this yet, but I think people that go through life and appear to be normal and don't have issues, they have faced a lot of problems. They just learned how to bottle them up and forget about them. And maybe the only time they ever come up is when they lay down in bed at night and close their eyes to go to sleep, and that's it. Other than that, it doesn't affect them. And I wish I knew how to do that. I wish there was something, some way, somehow. So I'm thinking to myself, this is how bad my depression is getting. I can't even go to the grocery store anymore. I walk into the grocery store, and the minute I walk in there, I see people together, laughing, couples. I see these pretty girls. I see guys that, I would think from my past experiences would have trouble, being with a girl, and I see them with girls. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is so bad about me? All these years, what the hell? This guy, he's a guy that looks like he wouldn't have a girlfriend, but there's one. He's got one. Oh, he's got one. So now I can't even go to the grocery store to buy groceries because I start tearing up because I'm so lonely. I don't understand what the fuck is so bad about me. And I'm going to tell you something. I've tried to put on, even though I really don't believe in being fake, be who you are regardless of how shitty it is. Just be who you are, because no one likes a liar. But I have tried to walk through the store with my chest up and trying to, walk with a little bit of confidence. I don't walk into the grocery store, all droopy and sad. Trust me, I don't do that. I'm smart enough to know no one wants to see that. So I will put on, and I'll walk in, I'll stand tall, I'll do all that. I'll try to get somebody to notice me. And it never works. So I end up leaving just basically in tears at the point, like yesterday, Monday, today's Tuesday, I was in Walmart, I had to get some groceries, and I started welling up in that store. And it was embarrassing because I had to kind of put my head down and make sure I went and found a napkin so I could kind of wipe my eyes out. It's embarrassing. And this has been really bad the past couple of months. It was never like this until recently. I think what's starting to happen is, as like I said, Father Time is catching up. You look at me and say, oh, 32 is not that old. Well, it may not be that old to some, but when you've been through the ringer as much as I have, it's like I've already lived a lifetime, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And if I die tomorrow, hey, I'm going to die sad, but you know what? It might be the best thing for me at this point. I know nobody wants to hear that, but I'm about being honest. And so I'm kind of weighing my options here. if my depression is as bad as it is, and really the age thing really plays a big part in it, because the older I get, the less time I'm gonna have to enjoy if I meet a girl. There's not gonna be that many years, so I'm already like in my 30s, so there's already me. I picture finding your first true girlfriend around 15. That's about the average age. So I'm looking at freaking a potential here of 17 years that I could have been with somebody enjoying life, and that's 17 years that I'm not getting back. And let's face it, the older you get, the less fun you have, because you don't feel like it. Age catches up to you. There's only so much you can do. When you're young, you're supposed to be full of life. While the years that I was supposed to be full of life have been spent with this disease known as major depressive disorder. And it's physically, mentally exhausted. I'm worn out. I'm tired of laying down at night with tears in my eyes. I'm tired of having dreams and waking up with tears in my eyes. And now, if I go any public place, I start wailing up. That's bad. That's how you know you have a major problem. And I've had depression all my life, but I never, ever was at this point where I'm just wailing up with tears every time I see a pretty girl, every time I see a couple. Because it's no fun being all by yourself, doing everything alone all these years. You people gotta understand the scope of it, okay? I have not had a friend since I was 11 years old, and even then it was just an acquaintance, some kid and a couple of kids in elementary school that I talked to. Only talked to them there. Didn't know them outside of school. So I've never had a real friend. And I'm talking, do you understand what it's like to never go to the movies with anyone, to never go bowling, shoot pool, go throw darts, go dancing, or I can't dance, but whatever. Go karaoke. I can't sing, but you know what? Still, people do that all the time. They can't dance and can't sing, etc. Things like that. Do you know what it's like to never have that experience? And I know there are some people out there that do. We are a select few, a very select few. We are the people of society that were forgotten, were pushed to the side, were left behind. And again, people can make their videos and talk about, don't make excuses, get up, fight. That's great. I want to do that. I have done that. And don't think I haven't. But the problem is, some people just aren't wired mentally to fight and to dig. And I would say that I'm not wired that way, but I tried. At least I tried. And I failed. And when you never win at anything in life, you're a loser. And I'm going to admit this, as hard as it is, I'm a loser. I'm not going to say it proudly because I'm not proud of it. But it's the truth. And I cannot be something that I'm not. And that's the funny thing. I can walk into a grocery store. Yeah, it's going to be hard wailing up. But when I first walk in there, trying to, show confidence, at the end of the day, they will find out the truth about who I am. And they will know that I'm a major depressive guy with social anxiety, very shy, very reserved, very simple-minded, very, basic, no friends. They'll find all that out. And if I was to start talking to her, some girl magically saw me from afar and was like, ooh, that guy, the rarity of a girl thinking I actually look good and would come up and talk to me, would have to find out the truth. And that would be the biggest test. Would they accept? So that's why for me, I hope I can meet someone through this internet thing. But that's not even going to happen, I don't think. At least this way you know the truth about me before you talk to me. So that way you can go ahead and judge, because I'm hoping someone realizes that deep down inside there is a good person. There is a soul in there that's just yearning to come out and waiting for someone to give him that opportunity. So like I say, the reason why the depression is getting so bad is basically the age thing. I want to have many years to enjoy with a female, with a love. And I guess I'm rare. I still believe in true love. True love exists out there. And when I hear and I see on TV the old couples that have been together 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, even 80 years. 80 years, think about it. I saw on TV the other day, 95-year-old man, 96-year-old woman, they've been together for 80 fucking years. So since he was 15 and she was 16. And they made it last 80 years. And I know that's very old school, but that's what I believe in. I believe in true love. And I'm hoping, you know, my hope is waning and it's very, very low, but I still am never going to give up on my dream. This is a 20-year dream. I ain't giving up. I guess the day I die will be the day I give up. And if I die alone, then I know I failed. As I'm on my deathbed somewhere alone, that's the thing, you know. The only thing left for me in this life is this dream, hanging on to this dream. I think that's the only thing keeping me going. It should be motivation, but at the same time, I've got a lot of stuff I gotta fix. So basically, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of these problems would go away if something, a miracle. Miracles have happened in the life. They're rare, but they've happened. And as much shit as I've been through, I think I'm due. And the miracle would be if that angel came in. And I know I'm probably talking crap, and I know a lot of people. Well, I personally don't believe that, but there are some out there that say that's baloney. True love is baloney. All this angel talk is baloney. Blah blah blah. Stop worrying about a girl. Well, that's your life. Maybe women and love does not mean that much to you, but it means the world to me. Because to never know love is to never have lived at all. And that's a saying of mine. I've had that saying for years, and I've never experienced love. So, and look, I've never lived. So I guess you live by your sayings. I don't know. I know I'm rambling here, and I know a lot of people are getting tired probably of listening to this. But hey, this is what I've been talking about from the start. There's nothing new. This is not something new. This is my outlet, and I have to speak to someone. If I only got, like I said, one person to watch these things, hey, it's better than none. But I really do believe that really one of the major things. I'm not gonna say that someone coming into my life is gonna magically fix me. It's not, but it's gonna be the biggest start in the world. It's gonna let me know, hey, there's somebody out there that cares. There's someone out there that wants to get to know me and wants me to succeed. There's someone out there that's gonna support me, that's gonna let me fall on them if I need something to fall on. If something stumbles and something gets in the way. The affirmation that someone's gonna come into my life when I'm at the absolute bottom and give me an opportunity would be the biggest motivating factor in the world. Because if you can come to me right now and actually agree, hey, let's start talking, let's see where it can go. When you know I'm at my bottom, it means that you truly care and you want to get to know me, or at least try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least I know it won't be one of those situations where I've talked to girls before in the past and they had some ultimate scheme, you know, to win $100 to go on 3 dates with a loser. Or the girls I met in the late 90s, you know, on AOL back in the archaic days of the internet, that once they saw me in real life, they didn't want to talk to me no more and told me how ugly I was. But this time I've been through that, so I know that if someone comes along, I'll know some of the signs to know if it's legitimate or not. But anyways, this video's went longer than I wanted to. Just wanted to get a video out. I haven't been doing so good at these things. And I'm gonna, you know what, I promise you guys this. The next video you see will be something not focused on anxiety and depression and me. It'll be focused on some of the stories that I promised I'd tell you guys about. So look for those either Wednesday or Thursday. The first one will be about my experiences at Subway restaurant. And I know I've talked about this before, but you know what, I owe you guys that because some of you really, really want to hear that stuff. Alright, that's it, that's all. Thank you for entering my alone zone. It is now time for us to part. So until next time, this is Chris, and I'm out. Peace.